Welcome to another episode of In the Kink podcast. I wanted to talk about this misconception that everybody has perfect sex. Everybody functions perfectly, and if you have any issues or if you don't have orgasm, whether male or female, or whatever your gender identity is, that there is something wrong with you. Now, medically speaking, of course, there is diagnoses and other things, as well as psychologically caused around not being able to feel certain things or get an erection. And both men and women get erections. It just looks very differently. But a lot of times we have this idea in our head that unless everything works perfectly is how we think the other person wants everything to be, and we don't measure up to that perceived image of ourselves for the other person, then we can't have what we want. We can't have the relationship, we can't have the intimate connection with a partner, we can't enjoy ourselves. And I really felt called to come on and talk about this because there's more and more people and situations that have come to my awareness and my attention that this is a bigger problem or a bigger occurrence within the community of people that I come in contact with than even I realized. For myself, I didn't have an orgasm till my mid to late 20s, and I first started being sexually active when I was 23. A late bloomer, I know, but for me at the time, I didn't want to get pregnant, and 100% not getting pregnant means not having sex. So I was late to the game, but you know what? Better late than never. But I digress. I didn't have an orgasm until my mid to late 20s, and it wasn't from having sex with somebody. It was someone using a vibrator on me. I didn't have ever used a vibrator, and that experience blew my mind. I was also terrified because I was very wet and there was no controlling that, and I didn't know what was going on. So there is this thing called female ejaculation, and if you are pushing all the buttons and there's urine in your bladder, you're gonna pee. It's gonna happen. Put down a towel, and if you're the partner, take responsibility. You made that lady come really, really hard. Don't get grossed out. Help them clean up, and then reassure them that everything's okay. Because I know for myself, there's a lot of shame around peeing the bed. And when you're having that experience where you're stepping out of your comfort zone, because there is a lot of societal pressure for women of female-bodied personas to hold things back, to put the other person first. Now then, on the flip side, there's a lot of pressure for the male-bodied persona to perform, to be stiff, ready, available on an instant notice all the time and multiple times. Now, if you know about male anatomy and how the body works, there's a period where it's gonna be flaccid no matter what. It's just not gonna stand up for you. And then there's so many other factors that can affect that. Just pressure, thoughts, stress, can just make you not be aroused, make you not stand up. And I'm using those words specifically because this is going on YouTube and I don't want to be blocked. So I apologize for not using the more explicit terminology, but I do want this to be able to be shared and available for people to talk about, to hear about, and to know that you're not by yourself. There are others out there, not necessarily having the same issues or the exact same thing that's happening with them, but similar, close enough, or, you know, in the range. There's always a range. You know me and my love of a range. There is no black and white in life, and if you try and convince me of that, you'd have to bring a pretty good argument to the table. But I mostly wanted to bring up that it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of relationship. This is where self-discovery, this is where what makes you turned on, what makes you feeling seen, intimate, loved. When you know that about yourself, you can share that with your partner. And then your partner can work with you, and hey, you might even be surprised. Who knows? But the more you relax, the more you go into that playful energy, you go into the let's do, connect, and be together because we enjoy each other's frequency, we enjoy each other's company. That's your start of a relationship. Yes, having a good romp in the bedroom can be a lot of fun, but it doesn't necessarily mean that if you don't have that you can't have a very intimate relationship. And then sometimes people who have grown apart because they're still having a connection in the bedroom, they're staying together past the point where energetically they really feel like they've moved on and want to explore other avenues. So there's many facets around this topic. But what I really want to do is encourage you guys to find that love for yourself, because it's there, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Find the love and joy in your body. And there are many ways to enjoy your body. If we're talking about erogenous zones, it's like a tiny percentage compared to the whole rest of you. Your skin covers the whole of your body, not just your genitals. You have sensitive areas like your forearm, your elbows, your knees, your ears, the jawline, your lips, extremely sensitive. Most parts of your face. There's so many sensitive areas that you can play with, that you can provide pleasure to yourself or somebody else with. And then for the the gentleman, if you wish to please a lady and you are not able to bring the toys yourself, have a functional substitute. It can be any form of dildo, glass. Just make sure it's clean, make sure it's been sanitized, and make sure you ask the lady before you use it. That's all. Always consent. But it doesn't matter if the person is with you to enjoy your company, to have a relationship with you. It doesn't matter whether it's your physical member or if it's a substitute. And for the ladies, the most erogenous zone is the first 2 inches of your area anyway. So it doesn't mean you have to penetrate deeply. It doesn't mean that you cannot please somebody. You know, a finger is plenty long enough to reach all those areas that is very arousable for women. And in the end, it really comes down to what you value. Do you value your physical appearance? Do you value the way others may perceive you? Or do you value how you see yourself? Because I know for myself, I'm with myself 24/7. I'm the only one on this entire planet who's with me 24/7. Anybody else is not going to be here all the time. So I have to, for myself, value myself and find the worth that I choose to see within myself. And yes, that can be challenging. That's challenging for me too. But the more we practice, the more we look at ourselves, the more we listen to ourselves, the more we speak about things that maybe feel hurtful or confusing or questionable, the more we question societal norms. I had someone comment about if they don't have money, good looks, or something else, then there's no way they can have a relationship. Well, I know a guy who doesn't have money, is kind of fat, and has lots of relationships because he's confident as anything. So it's not the money, it's not the looks, it's the confidence in yourself, about yourself, that is attracting people to you. And that's that double-edged sword. Because when you feel like you're not worthy, when you feel like you are not functioning enough, or good looking enough, or rich enough, or whatever the not enough is for you, then that brings down your self-worth. That brings down your self-esteem. That brings down your energy, and that pushes people away. Because then you feel lack within you. And then when you feel lack, you're signaling the universe, hey, this person doesn't want anything because they're feeling lack. So that's what we're going to have to provide them with. We're going to have to set them up so they can feel more lack. And that's tricky when you're in that loop, when you're in the downward spiral of like, well, all I see is lack in my life, so there must be something lacking. So all I see is lack, so there must be something lacking. This is where you go inwards and you find the things you're like, what do I have that I think is valuable about myself? What do I do that I think or that I feel really resonates with me? It doesn't have to be acknowledged by anybody else, but it has to be acknowledged by you, by yourself. And that is the key. That you find the things that light you up, that inspire you, that make you happy, that make you shine, that make you look bright. No one has to see it except for you. Because when you see it and when you acknowledge it for yourself, then the universe will acknowledge it as well. But it starts with yourself. And I'm not trying to lecture you, but I'm sharing this because this is what I'm going through right now. I am seeing the things and I'm shifting how I'm looking at the world. And when I see something that I feel, oh, I don't really like that, that doesn't resonate, I don't try and shift it out there anymore. I look inside and I say, what am I doing that is bringing this into my reality. And one of the things that I didn't realize I was doing a while ago was that I didn't feel like I had lack in my life. But what I was doing is I was seeing the lack in other people's lives. I was witnessing things they were either talking about or things they were saying or things that they were bringing attention to. So I was seeing lack outside of myself, not in my life, but other people's life. But that didn't count any different than me seeing lack in my life, because I was still focusing on the appearance of lack. So that showed up in my bank account. Once I realized that, and I started looking at how can I switch that energy, they might still be talking about having not as much work or not as much money coming in or some form of lack or perceived lack. And then I was like, well, why don't I just see them as the perfect incarnation of themselves? Their soul coming into the physical body, or manifesting the physical body, because the soul and the body is the same. It's one. It's just humans are splitting and differentiating things. They really are the same beingness. But why don't I witness them, or the situation, or whatever it is, as being a perfect example of themselves? And yes, that could also mean things that are horrendous, but it's a perfect representation of that act or that experience or that manifestation of whatever it is. Even if it's an illness within you. Wow, that is a perfect manifestation of this illness. And just be in awe of how well it has come up. And I know this is going to trigger some people. And if it doesn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. Find something else that does. But this is for those who it does resonate, who want to go further, who want to go deeper, who want to go below the physical, below the surface, who want to ask the questions of what is behind the norms. How can we get deeper? How can we manipulate our reality in a way that actually works? How can we co-create with ourselves, with source, with whatever you want to call it? It's just life embodied, life expressed. How can we co-create our own best version of us in this moment? And that is what I'm here for. Is to be the best version of myself, whatever that is in this now moment. And it doesn't always mean I'm happy-go-lucky, joyful, peace all the time. I have my low lows and I have my high highs, and I do try to show up for you guys as best I can in the best frequency that I can show up, because I know the more vibrant my frequency is, the more you guys can get out of it. So I won't necessarily come on to a podcast like this and share my low lows. I will always try and be in a grounded state, in a state of flow, so I can speak from my highest, from my core, from my soul point of view. Now, of course, there's always going to be that 3D human thrown in, because we are in that 3D world. But this is what I'm here for. To explore, to question, to seek answers. And I don't always find the answers, but to ask why. And then to share my experiences, share what I find, or share the questions themselves, to see who else might be in the same frequency? Who else might be asking those questions? Who else may be struggling with something and needs an idea or a thought or just inspiration to look at something maybe just a touch differently? And that is why I'm here. That is why I'm showing up. And this is why I'm sharing. And if things like this are really of interest to you, let me know. I am usually happy to talk about any topic, especially around issues that are stuck in the closet or that are hidden or ignored or made shameful to really express. Because how dare you not enjoy yourself when someone is being intimate with you? How dare you not be able to perform? I mean, that's the whole thing. Your manhood shows how manly you are, right? Isn't that the convention? When in reality, what matters is how you show up, how you hold space, how you treat others when no one's looking. That is what it truly means to be manly, is to be strong and soft at the same time. And it doesn't matter what your physical body is, whether it's male or female or anything in between. We all have masculine energy within us, and we can all tap into that. And the same for the feminine. It's the wild, it's expressive, it's essential. And we have been taught to curb that expression, to focus on the other person, to not embody our power, to not express our sensuality, to not express our desires. And this is where we need to give ourselves the permission and the pleasure to explore ourselves, to enjoy our company. And if you feel so desired, take yourself out to a meal. Have a cup of coffee or tea, or have something that you really enjoy. Sit down with yourself and have a conversation. Now, I do recommend you record it, whether it's audio or video. Place a mirror in front of you so you can have something to talk to yourself about. If a mirror feels too intimate to start with, you can place a pillow, a stuffed animal, something, a vase of flowers in front of you to be your companion, to be your mirror to talk to. But do record it, because when you speak from your heart, when you speak from this flow state, you won't necessarily remember what you have said, or your mind will try and change the words or twist the meanings. So record yourself, videotape yourself having this conversation. And if you don't know what to say, what to talk about, start off with those words. I don't know what to say to myself right now. Start feeling, what would you wish to express? One of the ways that I started years and years ago on this journey of talking to myself and having these type of conversations. Now I'm just sharing them with you guys because this really is a conversation between me and myself. This is how I think. This is how I process stuff. This is what this is how I come up with ideas and concepts, is I take a subject that was highlighted to me for some reason I was inspired by, and I start thinking about it. And then I start having these in-depth conversations with myself in my head. And instead of having them in my head now, I turn on my camera and I start recording as I speak, as I talk, as I'm sharing about the subjects. And this is a great way to get to know yourself, to really find in depth of what you've been ignoring or suppressing, or even just didn't know about yourself. I had no idea how much I loved music until I allowed myself to really start exploring, start writing lyrics, start producing songs. And for me, I started out for myself because I wanted a specific style of music that I could listen to that would make me feel good. And that's what you want to do. Do things that make you feel good. And when you find those things or those ways or those methods or those interactions that make you feel good, then share them. Whether it's between yourself, between you or partners, you and friends, or you and a worldwide audience. It doesn't matter how small or how big you share. But the fact that you're sharing is putting your energy out there. The fact that you're sharing is allowing your soul to express itself, to co-create with you all the things it wishes to be creating in this reality. And I do hope that something in today's share has resonated with you. I do feel like I've gone all over the place a little bit, but this is what happens when you just start talking and start sharing. Things come through and they flow in kinky ways. Not a straight line here. And with that, have an amazing, wonderful rest of your day, and hope to talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.